Vibe coding is not a product management superpower, but here's what is. Vibe coding is having its moment, but there are more important things that product managers need to focus on. There have been several recent posts from people saying that the future of product management is vibe coding and AI. One recent one was the Navial Ravikant, and it was picked up and promoted and expanded by others. And he doesn't like Twitter. Vibe coding is the new product management. Training and tuning models is the new coding. Right up front, let me say that this is absolute nonsense. Naval is just wrong. So what is the old product management? Writing software, creating mockups, feature delivery? What Naval is describing is not product management. I've also seen other misguided posts such as this one that say that for PMs, everything is about AI. The only thing that matters now is AI proficiency. This is also plain wrong. AI tooling can make you more efficient, but it's going to make you effective. I.e., you can do the right, but also the wrong things much faster. Okay. If you don't know the difference between good, bad, wrong, right, wrong in product management, then you are absolutely lost. And of course, you've probably seen or heard of Claire Vu's talk, Product Management is Dead, where she predicted in 2024 that engineering, design, and product management would become a single combined role because of AI. How is that coming along? Yeah, I think that one is really, really hard. It's very hard to do all of these things right. I'm working together with UX designers all day, and I would struggle very much to do what they do well, because it's about things that take a long time to learn. And even though we have the help of AIs to do some of the wireframing or prototyping, I'm not sure that it's feasible that we could just replace them with me. Maybe it's a me problem, but I don't think so. I think it's about a competency. It's a competency issue where it's just too hard to have that wide of a scope. Why there's nothing wrong with learning to vibe code. This 91-year-old man did it to build an application for his church. That's nice. I mean, that is really nice. Product managers shouldn't be spending their time vibe coding features, prototypes, or mockups. Yes, I know that in a pinch to help out because we don't have designers, etc., who else is going to do it? But that's not my point. My point, I'm guessing that his point is quality. If you actually want quality and you don't want to do the wrong thing very fast, as he said earlier, then you have to have people that are really, really good, the experts in their respective fields. My point is that Claire Vu and the others are saying that product managers should take on design, UX, and even development work as part of their core job. And that is just wrong. Why? Because designers and developers can't do their own jobs. Because designers can't vibe code prototypes or mockups. Because developers can no longer write software. I don't understand the meaning here. Because if product managers are doing other people's work, who will do the product management work that PMs should be doing? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stakeholder management in product management work. I have managed a product, one very large product, but that was in an innovation stage. If you get into products that are more of an ongoing thing, a lot of the time product managers have a lot of different products that they should manage. And they also need to do a ton of stakeholder engagement in order to sell and promote and communicate and talk to managers and talk to dissatisfied engineers that are pissed off that the product isn't doing what they thought it would be doing because they said that they would like something. Product management isn't trivial. It's not something that you just do. It's a lot of interpersonal things that an AI frankly cannot help you with at all. When asked where they want to spend more time, product managers overwhelmingly did not say vibe coding. In our State of Product Management survey, we asked product managers this exact question. Do you want to spend more, less, or the same amount of time in each of the following activities? And we gave them a list of activities. And where did product managers overwhelmingly want to spend more time? Analyzing product usage data. That's the most popular thing, 82. Conducting user research and discovery, 81%. I mean, that is fun. That is really, really fun. Talking to users and trying to figure out what it is we're going to do. That's going to be my top one for sure. I think that is fabulous stuff. Working with leadership, analyzing, planning, etc. is fun, and it's also essential in order to sort of keep management and leadership at bay, in order to make them see what the product is and what it isn't, and what we should focus on now, so that they can focus in turn and make sure that they're asking for the right thing. Just give them the right information and they will give you good decisions back. Performing competitor and market analysis. Working on the product roadmap. Okay. And this doesn't cover other important product management activities such as cross-functional work with teams like marketing, sales, which I find to be, when I talk to product managers that are doing, again, legacy products, this is a lot of the stuff that they're doing. These are core product management tasks that product managers don't get enough time to do. And looking at that list, are engineers and UX designers going to work on any of that? No, not at all. So who's going to do that if not product managers? And again, I mean, some of these things you can use AI to get help to do that, but it still takes time. And if you're spending your time doing vibe coding, you cannot do this at the same time. It's not a superpower if... One of my favorite movies is The Incredibles. One of my favorite lines is when the villain Syndrome monologues about his plan to give his technology away so that everyone can have superpower. He then says, and then everyone is super, no one. When everyone is super, no one is super. It's a good movie. I like it. And it makes sense. When everyone can vibe code, such as non-technical people like the 91-year-old man mentioned earlier, or UX designers, engineers, business analysts, CEOs, sales engineers, and yes, even salespeople, as well as all of your competitors, what happens? Because a lot of people talk about vibe coding as a superpower that will allow for rapid delivery or rapid iteration of new features, etc. But if you're rapidly vibe coding new features, let's assume that for now that those are meaningful and valuable features and not just AI generated slop, how soon do you think it will be before your competitors will copy you? I.e., how long do you think you can sustain any differentiation via vibe coded functionality? The answer is not long at all. Yeah, and that's if you assume that vibe coding generally works and is safe, and that the AI can keep the context window for long enough that it actually makes sense. They can digest and understand the product even after, 1 million lines of code. So the question is, how will you differentiate, compete and win in this market? You have to play a different game. Product management's focus. How should product leaders and product managers be thinking about the impact of AI and vibe coding in the job? Let's take a step back and ask a basic question, because this is unfortunately at the heart of most misconceptions of what AI will do to product management. This should be an easy, what is the primary goal or focus of product management? This should be an easy question to answer, so take a moment to think about it before continuing on in the article. Okay, let's do that. It's to steer the product in a way that makes it successful, I would argue. And you do that by collaborating with users, design, engineering, and all of these people to make sure that you build a great product. Is it feature delivery? Is it rapid iteration? No. In short, the goal of product management is to drive product success. Yeah, Product management is cross-functional business and technology management, focused on creating and delivering products that address market needs and meet or exceed the business goals and objectives. Note the bolded parts of that statement. If I were to dissect them a bit and fill in some gaps for clarity, we come up with the following. Understanding market needs to drive product capabilities and align with business goals. Yeah. Focus on achieving business and product objectives, ideally via some strategy. And that's where the interacting with leadership comes in, because then you can get the strategy. Driving a cross-functional organizational alignment to support business product objectives. Okay, yep. Managing, and this talking to sales basically in a lot of cases, which is a lot of work. It's rewarding, but it's a lot of work. Managing the creation and delivery of products. And that's the fun part. I've often used this diagram to more clearly represent this mix. Business objectives, market needs, product capabilities, organizational alignment. I usually use more of a Venn diagram. I think that describes the same thing, with in the intersection of the user, the technology, and the business. But I like this as well. I think it maybe is a little bit busy. Yeah. So product delivery is part of overall product management, but it's definitely not the only thing, nor the primary thing that product managers need to focus on. One of the challenges to product management is that it's inherently cross-functional work. It connects to many other parts of the business. Much of it is leading work, well ahead of the engineering, marketing, and sales, etc., and driver of future business success, which is absolutely, I think, critical. You need to be able to communicate with all these other functions so that everyone is trying to build the same thing. If you don't have that clarity, you don't have that communication, it's going to be so hard to create anything that is good. And no matter how you look at it, having a really great product is at the foundation of business success. And I think it's sometimes easy for an organization, at least a big organization, to remember that. Perhaps this is one of the reasons that so many people don't really understand it and turns its focus to strictly delivery. Something that is easy to understand and measure, but unfortunately also something that cripples the value of that product management provides. And you can see this again and again. You have product managers that all of a sudden they're working on just operational details, making sure that users can get access to a database. And I was in a discussion with a developer the other day, and he was fairly unhappy with his product manager, where the product manager kind of forgot to include development in some of that operational work that he was doing. The effect of that was that things didn't get solved. When finally they understood what the product manager was doing, they were able to automate that step of the product manager's sort of operational process work within like a day. And that product manager has been spending months doing that. It's really important not to get sucked into the operations of the business when you're managing a product, which can be hard. Users want to be onboarded, and it's a whole thing. Understanding market needs to drive product capabilities and align with business goals. Focus on achieving business and product objectives, ideally via some clear strategy. Understanding market needs drive all the other activities. It drives the strategy you will follow, the product solutions you will create, including how they're packaged, positioned, and priced, and the information you will share within your organization to help them prepare to go to market, etc. Okay, I mean, I think these are really cool insights. I'm actually learning a lot here. I think there's a lot of there's a lot of good stuff here. Focus on business and project objectives has to be central to the work. Product management should work towards clear and measurable business and product objectives that drive the business forward. Okay. So what are the superpowers? And now we're getting into the advice from Saeed. Since you've read this far, I'll cut to the chase. These are 3 superpowers that product managers and product leaders should focus on: discovery and market research. I mean, this is also the fun stuff again. I really can't emphasize enough how rewarding it can be when you have taken an idea based on a problem that you've seen in the business or that your users have sort of let you discover, and you take that all the way through ideation and development, and you can release that product and get some really happy users. But being able to be that early into the process, it's hard and it's unclear. And I think some product managers would rather ask an LLM for information that can substitute that research and discovery. And I think that's a shame. Clear and intentional strategy. Yeah, I mean, working together with leaders to make sure that everyone is aware of what we're trying to achieve with what we're building, so that we build the same thing and it's good. Applying what I'm thinking here, and then we have meaningful differentiation. Let's see what he says about the different things. I've already written about this above. This is precisely the knowledge that the 2 other superpowers and all other actions must be based on, and which makes sense if you don't have that understanding of the users, and you can't do anything. This is the single biggest shift that will help companies compete in the market. And I agree. I think that is a good take. Strategy is a broad term, but it can be defined as a set of explicit and aligned choices that the best position your company or product to win in the market or achieve specific objectives. Yeah. Making well-informed strategic choices will not only bring focus to your company and how it operates, but it can set the stage for long-term success. Sure. I think it's kind of an effect of the first point, but yeah. I mean, differentiation is often ignored in practice. Differentiation can be defined as what makes your product meaningfully better, different than your competitor in the eyes of your customers' prospects. There are 3 points here. Meaningfully better, and it should be in the eyes of your customers and difficult to duplicate. How you go to market and win when the market is flooded with products that claim to do exactly what your product does, because that's the future we're looking at. Okay, so he's saying that we're going to be flooded with just random, really crappy apps. Think of the Apple App Store and its millions of apps. That's the future of business software. Yeah, and that's a scary prospect, because trying to make an app, I was involved in a project with a math game to help people learn math, and the product did reasonably well, but it's so hard. Like, getting an app, it's a lot of marketing that needs to go into that. The only way to stand out and get noticed is to be meaningfully different. But if that differentiation is easy to copy, it's not going to last. And to be clear, this isn't about features, but about architecture, business models, go-to-market, services, support, etc. The tech is no longer the differentiator. The goal via discovery, strategy, and differentiation is sustainable competitive advantage in a crowded market. One question you might be asking is, why are these superpowers when none of them are really new? All 3 of these things have always been important, but none of them are easy. They require focus and skill to do well. They're not superficial activities. They need to be ingrained in the system of work in your company, and they are not easily copied by competitors. Okay, I like that. So if producing feature is easy, then we need to do what is hard.